There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence. There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence. Quit following me, Squall and Fury! The wind rises. Squall and Fury! The wind rises. Too slow. Behold!
Shower me with praise! Shine down! Whirling snow!
The wind rises.
Strike a pose! There is no escape! Inazuma shines eternal! Traveler. I'm... Thanks to the help of... But... I've been... Nothing. He's always... Anyway, my father's... He seems very... Sure.
Swarm Fury!
Uncle Ken! We're here to chat with you!
What a lovely surprise. Welcome. Oishi, why don't you go downstairs and get the shopkeeper to make us a fresh pot of tea? I heard that you've been traveling all over the place recently. I would very much like to hear your adventure stories. Oh, she told you, didn't she? Don't worry. I'm quite all right. It's just the years gradually catching up with me. As I grow older, I'm starting to find that with many things, though I am still...
How difficult!
Oh, historically, we also want to keep any perspective for these reasons.
So in other words, you pick the...
Correct. Unfortunately, not to despair, however, because I found someone exceptionally capable to...
Huh?
I'm heartbroken. I thought it might take you a little longer.
It's Sharon!
Jackpot. Uncle Tien here asked me to assess 3 candidates for him. Fancy joining me? You'll be among the first to get to know the next Tianshu. Might be a good opportunity for you.
What do you think? Paimon thinks so too. It can't be a bad thing to be on good terms with a new Qixing, right?
Alright then. Though, I gotta say, Uncle Tien, you say you're into behind-the-scenes planning? My work's of the covert variety too. Don't you think I might make a good Tianshu?
Huh? Yelan, you want to be the next Tianshu?
I'm not opposed to the idea, but I suspect Ningguang wouldn't let you go very easily after how long you've been working together. So, how about this? If your investigation reveals that none of the other candidates are qualified for the position, I'll recommend you for the job.
Deal. Well, you guys take your time. Everything's all set for the assessments to go ahead. Meet me on the first floor when you're ready. Until then, have a pleasant conversation. Oh, and no need to pay for your tea. As the new owner of this fine establishment, this runs on the house. You're all set?
Uncle Tien seems...
Yeah, it may sound harsh, but Uncle Tien is past his prime. He's not cut out for this anymore. So he's recommended 3 candidates. Their names are Qinwei, Mingbo, and Zhi. Qinwei is a wealthy entrepreneur. Mingbo works at the Liyue Ministry of Civil Affairs, and Zhi is focused on study and travel. Try to keep all that in mind. Of course, it doesn't really matter if you forget, since we'll be assessing them at Yuehai Pavilion in a short while.
Qianwei, Mingbo, Zhi. Paimon should be able to remember their names, but what does the assessment involve exactly?
Let's leave that until we get to Yuehai Pavilion. All right. Heads in the game, people. The stakes don't get much higher than a change in the Qixing. We can't afford to miss anything, no matter how small.
Got it. We'll keep our eyes wide open.
A blade is like a tea leaf. Only those who sample it many times can appreciate its true qualities. A blade.
My legs are getting sore. What is wrong with this assessment officer? This is a huge occasion and I don't even get a chair. I've dealt with all kinds of people in my time, but never have I been made to stand while I'm waiting for an appointment.
Oh, I mean, I think it's fine.
That's called being complacent. If you're happy to just accept the way things are, you'll never be able to change anything in the future.
Oh, come on. That's just... Now you're just being unreasonable.
All right, you two. Let's not get into a big argument over this. It's not worth it. Qianwei, that was a bit uncalled for. And Mingbo, cut him some slack. We've all been standing around for a while. It's natural to be getting irritable. Look, how about this? There's no rule saying we're obliged to stand up while we wait, so why don't we borrow some chairs from the guild nearby?
Fine.
It looks like all 3 candidates have arrived. I've split it into 2 stages. Current affairs and... In the first stage, candidates are required to submit a manifesto for Liyue's development. Writing a manifesto takes time, so I informed them of this requirement in advance. These are the reports they submitted.
Wow, one of them is really thick.
It's also worth mentioning, failing the occurrence of some cataclysmic event, they will not be permitted to change their plan. Therefore, these 3 piles of documents in front of us represent where each candidate stands on key policy issues. There's still some time. I'll be waiting off to the side. Finished, huh?
Everyone took...
Of course they did. And keep in mind, whoever gets in has to... We'll see the candidates now. Let's...
Yes, ma'am.
Oh? So you two are the assessment officers, are you? I had assumed that given the great import of this situation, Lady Ningguang would perhaps be assessing us in person. I certainly hadn't imagined I'd be seeing 2 entirely unfamiliar faces. I trust you've read through my manifesto? I'd be more than happy to clarify any details you found difficult to grasp. It was written with an expert audience in mind, after all.
Mind your tone, mister.
Relax. It wasn't intended as a personal slight against anyone in particular. I was simply stating a fact. Cloud Retainer? With your sterling reputation, you must have a respectable level of...
Oh, is it my...
Yes. Please, introduce yourself.
I'm, Mingbo. I work in the Ministry of Civil Affairs. I've worked there for, 9 years, 5 months, and 3 days. In that time, I've handled, 2,347 cases. I have 12 active cases at the moment. They should be concluded in, 16 days? My current work is related to urban planning, and I'm also responsible for, auditing the accounts. To be more precise, there are 3 parts to the accounts, namely...
Is it just Paimon, or is he not very good at public speaking?
You know what? Let's leave the self-introduction there and move on to some questions.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hello. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little nervous. What would you like to know? You're here to assess me, so ask away.
Your manifesto is very wide in its scope, but you don't seem to be personally involved in many of the specific fields.
Very fair question. I completely understand where you're coming from. But I'm confident in my plan. I've visited many different places, talked to lots of people with far more expertise than myself. Of course, 2 different...
How do you plan to...
A great question, if it turned out that my judgment was to blame for...
Nice answer.
He seems like a great guy.
Here's my take on what we... As you saw, Mingbo's plan is more thorough but he and Shenwei are otherwise polar opposites. Mingbo is not very articulate and comes across as very timid in conversation.
Perfect summary. Paimon couldn't agree more. You're good at this, Yuan.
Last but not least, Jur-E. His manifesto is full of pertinent details, his methodology is sound, and his proposals cover a broad range of fields, which is quite a rare feat. The depth he goes into in each and every area means it can only be a product of painstaking work. Plus, he is modest and good at dealing with people. But what really interests me is that many of his views happen to coincide with Uncle Tien's. Having someone like Jur-E take the position would certainly put Uncle...
Great!
We'll see.
I see. Then it's more or less as I anticipated.
All right, then let me ask this. The ideas in Jur-E's manifesto are very similar to your own. Is there any particular reason behind this?
Oh, those three candidates? But Chen Wei.
Whoa! So how did you get to know them all, Uncle Tien?
Chen Wei was referred to me by an old friend. Ming Guo came to my attention. We first met while fishing. Gradually, as we got to know each other, we started discussing all sorts of topics. Juri came from a poor family, and his parents died when he was very young. But he was a gifted student, and he reminded me of a younger version of myself. So I started out giving him a few words of advice when we were out fishing and noticed how quiet. And now, all of a sudden, he's grown into a mature young man. It's a joy to see, but it also gets one thinking. The young are growing up, and I am growing old. How time flies. No one can escape the cycle of life.
I don't know, Uncle Tien. You still seem in pretty good shape to me.
Oh, you.
Sounds like you
Oh, there's nothing quite like fishing the...
fresh fish soup.
Doesn't it? When we've been fishing, that flavor makes for a fond memory. But at my age, who knows how many more chances I have left to taste it again.
Let's get back to the...
Had you not had this decision, remember.
Understood. Come on.
Bye-bye, Uncle Tien. So, it's his manifest...
Easy.
Huh?
No, nothing like... The biggest no-no in intelligence work is to... For example...
Yes?
Lady Yelan, what are...
Did they scare you? As my trusted assistants, they are always standing guard nearby. The Shanghua is a bit...
That meathead must...
Nothing.
Shanghua, visit all the commerce guilds and look into Qianwei's background. Wenyuan, go to the Ministry of Civil Affairs and look through Mingbo's work files.
Yes, ma'am.
So what about Juri?
Jur-E. Well, obvious. Let's go to the docks.
If we're looking for him, he does business.
That's act...
asking price for this batch is just too high. I can't buy in at this price. How am I supposed to turn a profit?
Come on. I accidentally...
Even...
All right. I'll let you in on a little secret. The boss of Second Life also wants to buy from me, but I haven't responded. If you won't take him, I'll just...
Okay. Oh, what are you doing here? And to be clear, the son...
Actually...
Jerry, I've heard a story. One of his neighbors was terribly rude to him all the time. But Jerry, he returned...
He sounds like a decent man. We can finally breathe a sigh of relief.
Why are you asking about him anyway? You aren't looking for a brand ambassador too, are you? Well then, in that case, the higher bidder takes the... Ah, that's Jerry right over there. Why don't we go and talk to him?
Where?
It's him, all right. Looks like he's chatting with Lean Long. Come on, let's follow them and listen in. Try not to let him see you. We want this information to be as truthful as possible.
I'll just go and fetch an employment contract. And hey, don't try and cut me out of this. Hey!
I understand. Let's walk and talk.
What are you waiting for? We won't hear anything at this rate. Try not to let him see you.
I understand. Let's walk and talk.
What's the hurry? Don't get too close, or he'll see you. Try not to let him see you. We want...
I understand. Let's walk and talk. So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
Come see the kites.
The truth is, an old friend of mine who likes to have a drink.
What's the hurry? Don't get too close, or he'll see you. Try not to let him see you. We want this information to be as truthful as possible.
I understand. Let's walk and talk. So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
The truth is, an old friend of mine who likes to have a drink now and then. He fancies himself as a man of culture, but doesn't care for needless extravagance. So I thought I might buy him a set of high-quality fakes.
How very thoughtful of you. Leave it to me, then. Come and collect it at Shigu Antiques whenever is convenient.
Thank you very much, Miss Linlong.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Juri. These days, it's quite rare for someone of your standing to still keep up with their old friends. It's nice to see. I'll be sure to pick out a good set for you. You can count on me.
We shouldn't jump to conclusions.
Wait, you're not just trying.
Maybe I am. You'll be able to try all the finest food for free.
We will? Well, come.
Upon the gale.
The wharf is as... I hear the anglers here.
Welcome. What would you like to...
Sorry to interrupt. We've heard about this young man called Jur-E.
Whoa! Yelan made up a whole fake identity without batting an eyelid.
Ah, yes, Juri. He's been making quite a name for himself recently. I've got some friends who travel all over the place, and they tell me everywhere they go, they meet someone who... how does that saying go?
Yeah,
But I'm afraid your Anglers Association...
Huh?
He's good at a lot of things. His catches are always...
That sounds...
Sure thing. See?
Everywhere they go, they meet someone who's heard of him. Come on, let's keep asking around.
Here to buy some fish? It's 300 for one or 3 for 1,000. You better hurry. When they're gone, they're gone.
Hello, we're from the Society for Fish Price.
Wow, she switched identity.
Society.
Please, we've heard about...
I haven't heard any.
Oh?
Because he was still a kid. And he managed. I mean, it's not like he.
You'd rather he did...
Well, I think he has. Nobody's perfect.
I see. Well...
Not a problem.
The more times you say it, the less convincing it becomes.
Hey, it's you guys! Wait, what brings...
The truth is... But of course...
Great!
Now she's lying to a kid.
So, Master Dugu, have you heard of one by the name of Jur-E?
Sure have. You mean that guy that all the grown-ups are talking about these days? I've heard many tales of Juri. For example, I can't remember. Probably because it's nothing that important. I prefer stories about sword-fighting heroes.
Oh, I can completely...
Oh yeah, I know that. It was about 2 or 3 months ago. Before that, people always used to... Sometimes he gives me...
Just as I thought.
Huh?
I mean...
Oh yeah.
Oh,
great. So
certainly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Until we meet again.
Any of that sound strange to you?
Strange? Juri seems to have a great...
True.
Sudden?
So he returns... Do you remember what plus? His childhood.
When you put it...
Of course, if that's all... Jur-E was... The problem is... Right. That's the worst case.
Someone's trying... Even if we act...
First, we need... Remember the current... Whoever is secret... Come on. Easement. I'll divide the reports. Officially, the assessment is already. Whatever else Uncle Tien might think, any evidence you.
Well, oh, this
Looks like I'm the first one back.
Oh, hey! It's one of Yeon's little helpers! If you're back...
You betcha.
Don't drag this out.
Yes, Lady Yelan. To summarize the young master, once he signs a
Who'da thought?
Is it possible that.
in theory, that's where he buys from Chenwei off. It's like he wants.
What a strange...
To validate his.
I'm back. Huh?
Why do you think?
You, Lady Yelan.
Well,
The Ministry of but after a few.
in your opinion.
I don't believe so. According to Miss. Oh, and also.
Whoa.
Like I said before.
Ah!
Thank you both. You're free to go now. So. I can't. The only one that strikes me as a little unusual. Xiangshu. At some point, a long time ago.
So, did they...
None. The technology wasn't Easement. Still, this one fact alone doesn't tell us much. Everyone wants to get their hands on this treasure.
Excavation? Project? Oh, yeah! Juri said the...
Did he now?
Does that mean the...
No. Not. They do possess. Still.
Chenwei and Mingbo... What about Juri? Is there another side to him, too?
This is the Black Cliff Forge. Let's look around for clues.
What's...
From the back, it looks like a ledger. We don't know who wrote it.
You think there's...
Yes. At this rate, by the time that'll give them the Imagine if we didn't suspect anything. No red flags if all they did was change some key. That's the advantage.
When you put it like that, so...
That's a question for the newcomers.
Excuse...
I gotta say, my only complaint, I guess they just need... You got that right. It rained after... Hey, you're only...
Interesting. Looks like our hunch drinking in Leo. Good thing it rained today. It means they'll leave footprints.
That way! Hurry! We gotta catch up! These footprints are heading towards Liyue Harbor. Maybe we were wrong about them.
Just as I thought. They didn't go to Liyue Harbor. They went that way. The footprints, but judging. Looks like we were too late. This has gotta be where the newcomers rendezvous. Look at these ashes.
Could there be anything left? Maybe
The odds of that are...
Why don't we wait for...
We can't count on... To me, that's...
Darn!
Make no mistake, I smelled some... Those newcomers probably thought they'd be...
Really? Paimon can't smell anything. Do you...
There is a certain some wealthy people there put floral fragrance in their ink as a way of injecting a little romance into their writing. When that fragrant ink is burned. Exactly, but it's all I need.
Lady Yelan! Oh, thank goodness I finally found you. I thought I'd never...
Don't be alarmed. This is Upei. He's Wenyuan and Sha. I sent him to look at... I left him a note. So, what did you find out at sea?
Forgive my income. I asked all the fish when I got back. What? No, that's not possible. It's absolutely not possible.
Interesting.
Fish soup?
Nothing. Well, any suggestions? Not a bad idea. Upei, what do you think?
Honestly, I've...
Okay, so...
No, we'll still...
Groundwork?
When you've worked in intelligence for a long time, tomorrow morning I'll be sure to arrive on...
There's a pleasant breeze and glorious sunshine. So, where shall we go for a walk?
It looks like we're all... I won't drone.
All of us here...
Qianwei, Mingbo is reliable. In contrast, after much...
Thank you. Honestly, in my estimation, would either of you...
I don't mind.
Okay, well, that's all from me. Zhi,
I will live up to the... I should go. I need to pack my things, and then
Count me out. I'm not a...
Zhi seems pretty relaxed.
Hey, traveler. Tell me something. If you can't answer that...
Oh no.
Follow him.
Yes, ma'am.
We finally got rid of them.
Lady Yelan, Jury has gone towards
Follow him.
So Zhi really sided with the Fatui? But Uncle Tian thinks so highly of him. Why would he do this?
Difficult to say. But everything should become a lot clearer when we find him.
So this is a day in the life of the traveler. I'm learning more about you all the time. I only wish life could be as leisurely as this a little more often. How greedy of me. So this is a day in the life of the traveler. I'm learning more about you all the time.
You're here early. I just ordered.
Let's all take a seat.
Here, hand me your cups.
Oh, thank you.
Wait, you weren't supposed to drink that, Paimon. That was for you to rinse your utensil.
Wow, so much
But most of the time, though, I don't eat.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Eat! If it's not enough, what about you, traveler? Is the food to your liking? Want some more seafood kanji?
Paimon's gonna take you up on... So full. Oh, listen. Paimon's figured it out. Let's think about this for a second, Gaming. That would explain why you try to keep... Huh?
More often than not.
Oh, you...
Okay.
What?
My dad is just my dad. But that's just not who I...
Have you ever talked, about your...
Of course I have. I told him I wanted to be a wushu dancer. That I wanted all... According to my dad, though.
Oh, that's terrible.
I'm sure he thought I would come one day. In the end, I was... don't get on my case. No. I know that it wasn't the right way to go. But my dad stuck. I knew talking...
Gaming.
But... in the past, and you can't just... Still.
Paimon understands.
Okay.
Actually, we told Xianyun...
Oh?
Are you interested in...
Oh, no. It's just that I happen to know Auntie Xianyun.
That title's...
Oh, I know that she came to see me a few...
Is that...
It's one thing to...
Yeah, she...
It would be such a shame.
Great.